Good to see you too. Pleasure to be up here with everybody. I'm feeling a little emotional. You know, you're telling a story about exes, you're thinking about all the different people that you've been with, how they've changed you, how you've changed them, mistakes they've made, how they've hurt you. But, you know, that's not how relationships always work. It's not always about how other people have wronged you. It's not always about how someone else has fucked you over. Sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to do something to protect yourself if you're not ready, if you're scared, if you're afraid. And I think that happens a lot when you're 19 or when you're 18 or when you're 17. Growing up's hard. And this is a story about breaking up with the first person I fell in love with because I was afraid, because I was unprepared and feeling relieved about that. So, at the beginning, I dated this woman. I grew up in a town called Juneau, Alaska. Anyone from Juneau, Alaska? Yeah, I didn't think so. And I've been here for about a year and a half. But grew up in Juneau, Alaska. This is someone I went to high school with, but we didn't date until after high school was over. And we started going out. We had like one summer that was like really nice and romantic, blah, 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 whatever. We went our separate ways. Next summer we met up and like, I was done. I was like, I don't know what happened. But I was like, oh my God, you're incredible. I was just hypnotized. I fell deeply, irreparably, terrifyingly in love with this woman. We spent all of our time together. We had incredible, 19-year-old, 18-year-old sex. Like you're inexhaustible. You're having a lot of fun. Nothing can go wrong. And then it turned out that she had repressed memories. This is not a joke. She had repressed memories from some childhood trauma that surfaced in the middle of this transcendent relationship. We're 2 months in to what feels like it's going to be the rest of our lives, and she starts to remember all these horrible things that happened to her when she was 2, 3 years old, things that should be impossible to remember were that terrible. And I hope no one here has ever had to be with someone who ends up developing post-traumatic stress disorder while you're dating them. But I'm sure there are people in here who have, and it's awful, and it's a nightmare for them. And it's not easy to watch the person that you love experience that either. For the next 4 or 5 months, we kept dating. She ended up having a black label effect, which is when the medication you're taking does the opposite of what it's supposed to do. I remember carrying her into the hospital because we woke up in bed together, and the first thing she said to me was, I can't let myself get out of bed because I'm going to walk into the kitchen and fall on a pile of knives. And so I carried her to the car, I drove her to the hospital, and I had to admit her to the psych ward for observation. She was under so many chemical influences that her doctor was prescribing her, trying to find something that was going to help her get through learning how to get through. And this lasted for a very long time. And then I got accepted to college. And I was always planning to go to college. I really enjoy school. I have a lot of plans for my life, a lot of things I wanted to do. And when I saw that acceptance letter, I was so happy. I was so happy. I was so relieved. And I still feel terrible about that right now, talking to all of you. And I wanted to come up here to tell you about this relationship that now is totally over. She still occasionally reaches out to me and tries to talk to me. And for about a year after we stopped seeing each other, after I went away to college, I tried to maintain a relationship, but there was so much recrimination, so much bitterness, that it always turned into a terrifying, heartbreaking conversation after a week of being stilted and distant. And so I stopped, told her I couldn't do it, but periodically she still Facebook messages me or comments on my wall, and I don't respond anymore. And I've told her why, and that's that. But I wanted to come up here because not all X-Files stories are about being wrong. Sometimes it's an X-Files story where it's about learning how to take care of yourself and learning that not all relationships are going to be fair, and there's not always a villain. And we all have that guilt in us about one relationship or another, and I want you to know that it's okay in any relationship to look after yourself as long as you're not attacking anybody else around you. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, and I love all of you.